We are back with singles action, and what a dream match this is going to be. Corey Hollis representing Alabama Attitude taking on the returning Slim J, Andrew Pendleton III. This is the first time we've seen Slim J in action since shortly after Hostile Environment 2013. He was involved in an accident, had some staples put into his head, just now recently cleared by our doctors to return to the ring.
And you know, not just a small accident, a pretty severe car accident. About 8-inch gash in the top of his head. If I'm not mistaken, about 28 staples to put it back together. And you can see on our ring cam that that gash goes from the front of his forehead almost to the clear back of his head, and you just wonder, he's not probably cleared to come into this match, but you know, against doctor's orders, you can't prevent him because he is physically sealed up, just like a boxer.
He sat out on the shelf long enough, wanted to get back into the ring, and what a way to return against Corey Hollis. These two, no stranger to one another, had a tremendous match recently on Anarchy Programming. I'm looking forward to this rematch here this week in action.
And talking about returns, you know what I heard is happening next week on Anarchy TV?
What is happening next week besides our incredible heavyweight championship match?
The greatest comeback in the history of professional wrestling. Number one in the ring and number one in your hearts. The Saturday night sensation, Andrew Pendleton III, is back to action. Everybody's excited. You can hardly contain the excitement in this building. These people gave me a standing ovation when I showed up. They give me a standing ovation when I get a cup of coffee. They give me a standing ovation when I use the restroom. I mean, this crowd is excited to see some Andrew Pendleton III.
Well, and
it's a week away, and they're still that excited.
Well, I know I'm looking forward to it because getting you inside the squared circle gets you out of the announce table.
I know, and I want to apologize to all the fans at home that have to listen to Wolverton for an entire, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long I toy with whoever my opponent is. I feel bad for him because he's in for a rude awakening. I have 8 months of piss and vinegar, and I'm going to take it out on whoever my opponent is, so you better believe he's going to be in trouble.
Well, right now you have to feel sorry for Corey Hollis as his arms are tied up, but you see, bring Slim J back into the corner, clean break. And, I don't want to say mocking, but
a sporting tap. Hey, I'm here.
A little one-up. Like
I'm Corey Hollis. I'm one half of Alabama Attitude. I'm awesome. Yeah, and Slim just lightning fast, and Hollis just lightning fast. I've never seen anything like this before. Look how fast these guys are moving.
These two may be on opposite sides of the fence when it comes to the reaction of the fans, but there definitely is a professional respect amongst the two of them. Two tremendous athletes here at Anarchy Wrestling competing in singles action this week.
As much as I hate Slim J as a person, and trust me, I hate him. He represents everything that's wrong with this business. I have to respect him as a wrestler. He is tough as nails. He has taken a beating. He can do some of the most amazing things you've ever seen. He's just a phenomenal athlete. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better athlete anywhere.
But you can tell by the reversals here, these two are very familiar with one another inside the ring. They've done their homework. They know what to expect. Up and over by Slim J. Tilt-a-whirl into the head scissor. And I tell you, Andrew, at some points in this contest, this match is going to get too fast for us to call.
I know. And we just saw a flurry of offensive moves from Slim J. And up and over on the apron. Almost can't keep up. And what is he going to do here?
Well, the outside on the apron is a dangerous territory to be in. There's not a lot of room for them to work out on.
And it looks like he's going for a suplex. That's extremely dangerous. Oh my gosh. And again, the apron, the hardest part of the ring, where the steel reinforced beams come together. That's one of has the least give in the entire ring. And he just slammed his head straight in there. Now he's taking the beating to him outside up against that steel rail. Slim's in a bad way here. And you heard the railing all across the Anarchy Arena ring out when Slim's body was hurled into it. That's some tough punishment. I think my colleague Brett Wolverton's in shock here as the beating of Slim J continues.
They're out on the floor. Referee Dee Byers being very slow with his count as we're at 7.
He's not slow with his count. He was obviously probably went to school where you did, and that's how they taught him to count, because I've heard some of your lame brain theories, and I'm assuming that you two have about the same education level. Am I right?
Well, anyway, back into the contest. A suplex by Hollis goes for the cover. Kick out at 2.
I like Hollis more and more every time I see him. You know, he's a smart wrestler. He's a snappy dresser. He's just fantastic all the way around. I tell you, I like him. He's like the opposite of Brett Wolverton. You know, he's a handsome gentleman. He dresses well. He doesn't smell. And, you know, fans at home, I just want to paint a picture. I want to paint, if I can just paint the smell. Think about a dirty diaper filled full of Indian food. And that's what I have to sit next to every Anarchy TV taping. I mean, Wolverton, we bathe him. We get the hose and the brush out. And, you know, we hose him down, but it's still there. I don't get it.
I cannot wait for you to make your return to the ring next week.
Oh, me either. You know what? I just hope the stench comes off my wrestling gear. I might scare my opponent out of the ring.
Hollis again going for the submission. Don't know if he's going to be...
You know, Brett Wolverton, I heard that the fans cover themselves in strychnine sweat to cover up the stench of Brett Wolverton. That's what I've heard. But strychnine, as you can tell, is not the cleanest individual. He's always got painting on him. I think it's spray paint, who knows. He's just a dirty guy.
Well, we saw Strychnine make his return moments ago. It's been a busy week here at Anarchy, and we are not done.
And right on the back of his neck, this is all over for Slim, especially after that head injury. He's done.
You know, the injury sustained in the car accident may not be 100% healed. You know, it makes him vulnerable for more injuries here in the action.
You know, again, you can see the gash in his head. It was clear on the monitors that when we took a look at his face up close in the ring cam, that he still has redness and soreness in the center of that scar. I mean, it has not completely sealed. One good shot to the top of the head could split him open, and he could be in serious danger of a tremendous amount of blood loss. He lost a lot of blood in that car accident.
Hollis goes for the cover, a kick out at 2. Slim J looking for a victory in his first match back since Hostile Environment 2013. A injury in that car accident that cost him a shot at the tag team championship, the tag team titles that they won at Hostile Environment, him and Azrael. You may say otherwise given the fact that Jagged Edge and the Deadly Sin 7 had the illegal men pinned in the contest. Beautiful suplex by Hollis.
And he's bridging for just a 2 count. The question is, I mean, with these drops continuously on the back and the side of Slim's head, I mean, even though that's not the main impact, that's going to do some damage. There's hemorrhaging in his head. The question is, how long can he hold up? I don't think he's ready to return to competition. Personally, I would have said, I mean, I sat out 8 months with my back injury, and I'm pressing it to come back now, but, you know, you got to take the time to get out of this ring, and Slim just has more heart than anybody you'll ever meet. It's impressive. I mean, I have to give him a hand for that. I mean, I don't like him, but I can respect that.
Is the fact that we are several weeks away now from Fright Night 2013, one of the premier events here at Anarchy, is that a factor in superstars like Slim J and yourself trying to make these returns to the ring?
I mean, you know, the thing is that the fans buy tickets when Andrew Pendleton is in the ring. I'm just trying to help out Franklin Dove. As you can see, I mean, the crowd fills up when Andrew Pendleton shows up in the building.
Beautiful drop kick by Hollis. I hate to interrupt you, but it was a tremendous drop.
It's okay. I forgive you, Wolverton. No, never interrupt me. Trying to tell the fans what, I mean, you can buy the Andrew Pendleton, the third doll. You can buy the 8x10. You can buy the T-shirt. You can buy the sweatshirt. I have a delightful toaster cozy. And, you know, the fans can only take so much without Andrew Pendleton III. He has to come back. The success of the professional wrestling business hinges upon the return of Andrew Pendleton III. It's not fair for me to do anything less.
Anything else?
Does that answer your question?
Anything less would be uncivilized.
That is true.
Another pin attempt broke up by Slim J. Still some fuel in the tank.
Is that a Grey Poupon commercial? What is that? Is that
I think that was a Right Guard commercial.
Right Guard commercial. That's funny that you're quoting a Right Guard commercial with the way you smell. Going back to Grey Poupon, you know, you smell like maybe mustard left out in the sun for a couple months, so maybe you should try some of that civilization like bathing and deodorant and, you know, whatever you can do to get rid of it. And, man, again, the neck against that top rope.
I don't even think that was an attempt to clothesline Slim J over the top rope. I think that was his intentional plan, was to catch Slim J's neck on that top rope.
Now, I disagree. I think he was trying to clothesline him, and you saw Slim coming off with such force off that rope. Corey Hollis didn't have the power to muscle him over the top rope. But, again, he probably did more damage to Slim J by attempting to clothesline him over that top rope.
Slim J out on the
right to the head.
Well, Back body drops.
Oh my gosh! Over the top.
Hollis crawling around the ringside area. Slim J going up to the top rope. Beautiful moonsault. That was a picture-perfect textbook moonsault by Slim J off the top turnbuckle and not into the ring, but down to the arena floor.
And again, with his injury, he should not be doing those high-risk maneuvers. You can already see the swelling in his head around that injury.
Incoming with the clothesline.
And Slim has no throttle. He's all or nothing. And again, that head straight to the mat. You can see that Slim is almost disoriented there for a second with that impact.
Double stomp into the elbow drop by Slim J. Goes for the cover. And a kick out at 2.
And again, Slim is the man that uses his body as a weapon. He will break his body to hurt his opponent.
Around the world goes Slim J into the cutter. And a kick out at 2.
And again, some of the most impressive acrobatic, high-flying, amazing, just gravity-defying moves that you will see in professional wrestling with two of the greatest young stars in all of wrestling.
Low kick by Corey Hollis. You know, everything that Slim J's accomplished here at Anarchy.
And a knee to the side of the head.
You know, one of the few Grand Slam champions here at Anarchy holding every championship. I think Corey Hollis is well on his way to being able to replicate that.
That's one half of their Alabama song. That's one half of, what do they call it, the Alabama Jamma?
Alabama Attitude.
Alabama Attitude.
You know,
no, one half of their finishing maneuver. Is that, they call it the Alabama? They should call it the Alabama Jamma because I coined that phrase. I'm copywriting it, and I expect them to pay me a royalty every time I say Alabama Jamma. He's setting up for the Alabama Jamma. That's $100. Here comes another Alabama Jamma. Give me another $200.
Corey Hollis is looking to end it. Goes for the elbow. Duck under. Could be a rear waistlock into a German suplex. Reversal by Hollis. Drops down. Going for the submission.
And he's got him locked in tight in the center of the ring.
There is nowhere for Hollis to go. As he's trying to pull himself almost to the ropes.
And you hear the crowd chanting tap, but I don't see Corey Hollis giving up. He's a superstar. He'll never say die.
Just barely, I think, able to make it to the ropes. Hollis got to the ropes. Slim J had to break the hold or risk being disqualified.
But again, how much damage to that arm, that shoulder, and that neck has Slim J done? And again, to the higher end, he's pointing to the top rope. He's going back up again, he's throwing caution to the wind at every chance.
There's Mike Posey, the other half of Alabama Attitude. Slim J just kicked Posey off the apron. Up, Corey Hollis ducks down out of the way. There's the elbow.
Oh, right in the jaw.
1, 2, and 3.
Your winner of the match, Corey Hollis.
Well, I'd have to give an assist to Mike Posey. A tremendous match between Hollis and Slim J. And I think Hollis could have won this on his own. I don't think he needed the assist from Mike Posey.
I'd just like to say, welcome back, Slim J. Welcome back to Anarchy Wrestling.
Well, fans, still to come on Main Event. The Tag Team Championship on the line. The Deadly Sin 7, The Temptation Sean Tempers, Jesse Bailey's Elite, defending against the #1 contenders, the Straight Cat Brody Chase, and the former Anarchy Heavyweight Champion, the untouchable Jeremy Bain. Andrew Pendleton. Will Bain's ribs be able to hold up after the punishment last week from unforgivable blackness?
I don't know, but I can't wait to find out. Stay tuned to Anarchy Wrestling.